This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Domain.com.
Hello, welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen.
I'm Shannon Morse.
It's your weekly dose of Technolust, and I'm very excited to get into another awesome episode all about drones. That's right, we're going to talk about nothing but drones for the next awesome episode. Nothing?
The entire, 2 hours?
2 hours of, no, we're going to
A 2-hour podcast. Who would watch
No,
one
actually,
of
we're going to
those?
drone on later. We're not going to drone on today.
Has your drone gotten bigger?
It has, in fact.
I'm really hungry.
Q.
Why don't we talk?
L P O T F B W S Z.
What do you?
T.
What's
W.
that?
It's a pad.
Are you encrypting things?
It's a one-time pad.
Oh.
You only use them once.
A one-time pad.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with those. You know why?
Why?
Because that's what I'm doing for my segment today.
Wunderbar.
I know. What are the chances of that?
Bars of Wunder. By the way, this is Hak5. I'm Darren Kitchen. That's Shannon Morse.
We do a show about hacking and Technolust.
Take it very seriously.
Yes,
And today
obviously.
we're seriously going to transfer some packets of awesome encrypted goodness.
Yes, we are.
I love one-time pads.
So apparently I do too, because it actually works. And it's very, very much encrypted. Like, it's the strongest encryption you could ever get ever.
Yes, it has some caveats,
Well.
it has some pitfalls, but used correctly, it is very, very secure. I mean,
Yes.
its caveats are just different than the caveats that you would find with something like PGP.
Exactly.
So,
So the caveats of this is you have to use it correctly.
yes, which is the caveats of most encryption, but more so in that key distribution is kind of a pain, whereas with things like OpenPGP, it's not so much.
Yeah.
You'll lose things in terms of authentication, and so it's not. I wouldn't say a perfect replacement, but I like taking all of these concepts and kind of marrying them together.
Exactly.
So
the program that we're checking out today is called OneTime. It's encryption for this thing called OneTime Pads, which has been used for generations upon generations to create encryption or a type of, I don't know, ciphertext maybe?
yeah, it is. That's the
between
idea.
two different people. And back in the day, they actually used pads of paper to create these one-time pads because it was so easy to just tear off the pad and then burn it or throw it away or get rid of it in some way.
Right. Of course, there's great stories of the KGB and
Yes.
the Cold War and stuff like this. This is very spy crypto good stuff.
Oh, it's totally awesome.
The idea here is that as opposed to public key encryption, which we've talked ad nauseum about in the past, this is actually using essentially a symmetric key.
Yes.
So if you've got the pad and I've got a duplicate version of the pad, then we can
Both
talk
of
to each
us
other.
can
No
decrypt
problem.
and both of us can encrypt on the same pad.
And anyone eavesdropping on that would otherwise see that information would have really no basis to go on as far as
Right.
like attacking the, doing any cryptanalysis on it, because, it could be anything, right?
Yeah, that's true. It could be numbers, letters, it could be files.
Yes. There's actually a one-time pad on this coin. I love.
So, wait, all right, so hold on. You put a one-time pad on a coin that's been distributed amongst several people, and you can't really change it or anything. So
No.
it's not really one time.
Well, it's one time amongst a group of all of the hackers that I've run into on the Hack Across America tours. So, in that sense. Also, the ciphertext is on the same coin as the pad, so it's not really okay. Fine, but whatever.
It's cool.
It's part of a crypto challenge, and it's cool, right? Because you
I think
turn
it's
all
cool.
of these random letters using these numbers into something awesome using mod 25, which is a really simple thing where you turn zeros into A's and
Oh, loud.
ones into B's. But this
Right.
program does it all for us, so we don't even have to think about that. And it's open source and written in C or Python.
So-
Python.
I think it's Python.
Woot.
I think that's correct. But anyway, why don't we get into it? So the program that we're using called OneTime, it can be found over at red-bean.com/OneTime. They also give a whole bunch of handy information on here, as well as a little help intro and how-to on how to actually execute the commands. So the thing you want to remember about this is don't share your OneTime pad with tons and tons of people.
Well, I mean, that would defeat the whole purpose, right?
It
Because
would.
anybody with this pad, then it's the symmetric key. It is what will turn the secret
Exactly.
text, the ciphertext into the plain text.
Exactly.
So how do we exchange this? In fact, that is the
How
biggest
do you
problem.
exchange it? Yeah.
Exchanging the secret key, the shared key, and keeping the shared key secure are the two biggest problems with this method.
You don't want to do it through some kind of online method because that could be traced.
What, you don't want to just like paste it to me in IRC?
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I know Hibby and like DD3 and everybody, they're pretty cool, but
yeah, they don't need it.
I don't think they need my OneTime pad. So
no, let's not give it to them.
Yeah, I don't want to share it with them. I don't want to pass it to you in Gmail, because we all know Gmail reads your email.
Right. Well, okay, so I think doing it in person is really the best way to go when it comes to this. And I think that as far as securing it, you should use every method available.
Yes.
So you've talked about EncFS in the past, and all of those different fuse systems that allow you to do encrypted volumes and whatnot. So that would be another great technology to couple with this.
So one thing we could do, and I did this, I think it was last week, we put Lux encryption on a thumb drive.
Yes, we did.
So you could always like stick it on your Lux encrypted thumb drive, which has a password on it, and then tell your friend or whoever the password to the thumb drive and give them the encrypted OneTime pad on that thumb drive physically in person.
I love this idea. Now, there is a caveat with this type of encryption in that the OneTime pad has to be, like, the message can't be any longer than the pad. So say the pad is 100 characters, well, the most you can ever encrypt is 100 characters. And I think it's like 140 characters that's on the coin. So you can actually tweet with it. But the other problem with this thing, in addition to the fact that the message can't be any longer than the pad, is that you can't reuse that. So if you tweet with these 140 characters, well, don't tweet again, because then cryptanalysis can figure out all sorts of fun stuff about what that pad may be, in fact. And so that's the one-time part of it. And actually, some of the interesting historic things of one-time pads being cracked are because of this, because of reuse. Oh. Yes.
Man, lazy people. That's what happens. Okay, so first off, you want to make a directory for all this stuff. So you just use mkdir, make directory, TACP, and then OneTime, /dot OneTime in your home directory. So now we have a OneTime folder for all of our awesome goodness where we're going to actually put our OneTime pad. Yay!
Again, maybe you should just keep it on a thumb drive somewhere really secure that's not always connected to your computer. In fact, maybe you do this on a computer that's not connected to the internet with an air gap. We've talked about that before. But still, regardless, you need somewhere to put. For the purposes of these illustrations, we're just going to put the file somewhere.
Exactly.
But what is this file? What is my OneTime pad? Can I just use Mary Had a Little Lamb?
No. Well, I guess you could.
You would probably want to use something random.
Probably.
Just a bit.
So we're using /dev/random for our example. Now, I know that there's a few
emails.
Yes, I know that there's a few people out there that'll say like, "Oh, that takes a really long time to copy." And yes, it does. It takes for freaking ever. And you could also
random
use
numbers is hard.
If you wanted to, you could use urandom, but there's a whole bunch of controversy there about how random urandom actually is.
It's faster, but it's not as random as random.
Exactly. So
you want something random.
You want something random.
You know what you could
like
do? You could sit here. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Okay.
Dang it, I missed it.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
Yeah, see, you could sit here doing this all day long, and it makes a cool clinky sound, but it would take a long time to generate all of the necessary information to create this, especially this being binary. What would it be, like every 7 flips you'd have a byte? Not even.
No, thank you.
It'd be 8.
So
I'm thinking ASCII.
So where we're creating this, the way that we do it in my terminal is using dd. So we use dd space if equals /dev/random, and then you're going to use of equals tilde for home /.onetime / and then I already created this, but it's called toFood.pad. You could name this anything that you wanted to if you choose to do so. BS is the byte size, I believe, and then 1,000. And then we put in count equals 10,000.
So what this is doing is your input file, since everything in Linux is a file, is dev random.
Yes.
And it is going to get all sorts of fun random characters from that. The output file, or OF, is going to be where you want that pad to be kept. Again, highly recommend keeping it on a thumb drive offline. The byte size, and then the count is how many counts of that. So it's 10,000 iterations of 1,000 bytes.
Yay!
AKA 10 megabytes.
Woo! So once that has completed and you've created it, and I actually changed mine to urandom just for purposes of this demonstration, so it doesn't take for freaking ever.
But you shouldn't do that. You should come up with something random.
Yes, exactly. Once that is completed, you can move on to the next step. So now I'm going to create some kind of message. So I'm going to nano, we'll call it, so I'm going to call it Darren.txt. So, all right, so turn your head, Darren.
I have no idea what she's typing.
Almost done. Okay, I'm done. So Control X, yes, I want to save, and
great. So now if you cat that file, you've got your plain text, but we want to turn it into ciphertext. So how do you do that?
yes. So now we're going to actually use OneTime to encrypt this message. So OneTime, TAC E for encrypt, TAC P for pad, and then whatever your pad is. So mine is the /OneTime/2foo.pad, and then you put in whatever your message is called. So mine is Darren.txt, and then hit enter. And you don't see anything happen, but it creates the actual encrypted message. Okay, so if I open it up with cat.darren.txt.onetime, we see a bunch of gobbledygook.
Yay, gobbledygook. So now you can easily send this over the wire to me. No big deal. It doesn't matter if anybody's going to listen on it. It's all good. All right.
So I have the encrypted file. I'm just going to send it to you over Netcat.
Oh,
this
perfect.
Actual type.
Well, then let me set up a listener. And I'll listen on port 1337.
Port 1337. Okay.
Yep. And my IP is
196?
196.
I knew that because I was hacking you.
What?
Just kidding.
Was this from the Nmap segment earlier?
No.
Watch her. She's got an awesome series going on Hak5 right now about Nmap. It's awesome.
Okay,
Words.
so did you get the message? I just sent it over to you in the chat.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to pipe that into a file.
Yep. Okay, just mix that into a file.
Okay. Darren.txt.onetime. And so now, for me to decrypt this, I'm going to need, of course, your OneTime Pads. So how are you going to securely send it to me? Probably not the same way you just sent me the encrypted message over Netcat.
We can't do that over Netcat? Why not?
We could, but how do we know that we're not connected to a pineapple? And also Netcat's totally
And then
not
somebody
encrypted.
would have my pad, and they could use that to decrypt it if they had OneTime Pad. Yeah, not good. So how do we do it? I have an idea. USB.
I love USB.
This would be great if you're going to a convention and you have some important info to send over to your buddies.
There we go.
So, let me plug this in.
Isn't that right, Shannon? I love you. SB.
SB. Okay, so this is called B6A1. Okay, so what I can do is I can copy this with CP, and then it'll be tilde/.onetime/2foo.pad. That's the name of my pad. And then I'm going to send this over to media/B. There it is. Hit enter, and it's copying. The little light is blinkied. Finish copying.
Yay.
Okay, it's finished.
Thank you.
There you go. So this should work.
All right, let me copy that file over.
So you're going to copy my pad over to your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's completed, you'll be able to decrypt the file I just sent over Netcat. You'll be able to do that with OneTime, TAC D, TAC P. There's spaces in between those two. And then you'll type in the name of the pad and wherever it's positioned at. 2foo.pad. And then you want to put in the actual message name. So the message was called Darren.txt.onetime.
Great.
And then hit enter.
Oh.
What?
No.
What?
This is absolutely incorrect information. I don't know where you're getting this information, but it is wrong, except for the first part. Yes, Darren's cat's name is Kirby, and she's almost as cute as my cat, Starbuck.
I'm going to cat this and make sure Darren's cat name is Kirby. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't write that.
Mm-hmm. Can we get some photos of Kirby? Okay, now can we get some photos of Starbuck?
Starbuck's so adorable.
You be the judge. Feedback at hak5.org.
Starbuck picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, use any photo of Kirby.
So that is how you use OneTime.
This is brilliant.
To send messages to.
Okay, but we can only send. Hang on, LS TAC LAH.
Only up to 10 megs, I think, is the size of my file, my pad file. But you can make it as big as you want. If you wanted it to be like 10 gigs, you can make it 10 gigs. But that would take forever to make an actual random copy.
You know what I love?
What?
I have a 64 gig micro SD card in my phone. Dude, how many emails could we exchange with 64 gigs? That's plenty.
That would be a
How
lot.
often do I see you? Well, about once a year at hacker conferences.
Right.
So now
We never
every time
see each other
we're-
other than that.
No,
so.
only at hacker conferences.
Just at
do we see each
hacker
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is all just
virtual.
Yeah, it's virtual.
TV magic, in fact.
Right.
With our podcast budget. Totally. So, that's fantastic though, because get this, I'm going to see Mubix, I'm going to see, Vis, and I'm going to see, Seb and Robin and everybody, and I'm going to be like,
so you
hey,
could give them all those pictures of your dog by just exchanging messages over thumb drives.
There we go. That's how you do that. In fact, we could take a JPEG and turn that into a OneTime Pad. It could be any file. Who knows?
That's
as long as it's random.
I like it. And
I want to hear what everybody comes up with. In fact, I can't find my bookmark to it anymore. However, I do remember some recollection of an IRC protocol that used OneTime Pads. Am I totally crazy? Does this exist?
Didn't we do a segment on that?
No, I could have sworn I ran by this. Now I can't find it again.
Totally
so
do
if
that
you
one
happen to know
next.
about the
and more
OneTime
SDR fun
added
times.
IRC, please let me know, because that would be awesome.
Okay, we
Hey,
have.
you could just tune your SDR into static and then get it to make random numbers and then entropy.
That's
I don't
true.
know. There's
That would
lots
totally
of reasons why this is bad.
I'm tired and I'm hungry. Let's go to the next thing.
How about we take a quick break, but when we get back, we are going to read your emails. Killer ideas need to be harnessed and turned into web energy, which can be conceived as domain names. This is the case. This is totally fact. It's how it works. So from your mind into the web, domain name, website, you're up and running. And if you want to be up and running real quick, you've got to use domain.com. They've got a quick domain discovery system and an easy checkout process, so you can have your website up and running in no time. And I can't begin to tell you how awesome the folks over at domain.com are, because you know what? They're reliable, they're affordable, they're easy to use, and they're huge fans of Hak5. They're huge fans of social media. They make it a fun place to do business. Tweet at domain.com and see what I'm talking about. And the guys over at domain.com want to hook you up. So get this, all you have to do is use the coupon code HAK5 at checkout for an extra 15% off. So when you think domain names, think domain.com.
We're back and it's now time for the Technolist photo of the week. And this one comes from our very own archiver. He sent a picture of his beautiful daughter Alexis, and he said that his daughter Alexis wanted her laptop to be just like daddy's. So he put a little Hak5 sticker on it, and it's so adorable, and I love her little shoes because they're so cute. I'm gonna meet her one day. Hi Alexis. You can send your photos over to feedback@hak5.org if you have some awesome pictures to share, and who knows, we'll show them in a future episode. Look forward to it. Bye!
That just about wraps up this week's episode of Hak5. But
But
before
first, we have some announcements to make.
Oh no.
We have DEF CON in August, and it's from the 7th through the 10th of August, and you guys should all go. If you're not planning on going quite yet, you should definitely go to Vegas because it's super fun, and there's amazing slushies at the Rio that you can get, and then you can sneak them into certain parts of the convention.
Well, I would actually like to remind you on a more serious note that if you are a hacker and you like camping, or you like camping and you'd like to be around hackers and learn about hacky things, what you really want to do is go over to tourcamp.org, because it is going to be amazing. July 9th through the 13th. I can't speak more warm and fuzzy about it because it is just a warm and fuzzy experience with hackers and camping.
He has hippie moments whenever he goes to tour camp.
I can't wait. I'll be there, and it is going to be amazing. So
think I'm
join
going
us
'cause
in
there's
Bay,
bugs.
Washington. It's the very tippy-top left most corner of the United States. You can throw
Is it near
rocks at
Forks?
Canada. It's past
'Cause
Forks.
I want to go to Forks.
There are sparkly vampires in Forks.
There are.
On a more
Also,
serious
we're not doing our brunch in July because we do have all those conventions to get prepared
then
for, so don't come to the Bay Area because we're not doing
But when we come back, okay, so two things. First of all, DEF CON is going to be our 9-year anniversary.
Yes.
That's amazing. And then maybe we'll become more serious in the 10th year. I'm not really sure. And then after that,
you're
we're
funny.
going to have an awesome Bay Area brunch because we are going
Yay!
to see some Nikes. And I'm not talking about shoes.
No?
Nope. Talking
Not
about,
these?
Not talking about missiles.
Not
Those aren't-
shoes?
not shoes. Get your
There's
feet off the table.
They're sandals.
Get your feet off the table.
Whatever.
So
I got nice, cute
anyway,
toes.
Missile Complex, awesome hacker fun time in whatever's after July.
Yes.
August.
I'm so excited.
The next one.
All right, you have an
I'm not
email
sure.
for us.
Yes, it's actually my favorite email of the week. I'm going to read this here. Bob sent it in, Bob C. Thank you, Bob C. He says, a funny story to start your day. I had a DSL line installed the other day. We plan to use it in the office as an isolated Wi-Fi network for the visitors. Now, the Verizon tech told me that the username in the modem is admin and the password is password1. He emphasized the uppercase P as if it had some sort of special significance. I told him that I had set a better password on the modem, and his response was, quote, Verizon doesn't like you to change the password on the modem. This way, all the techs can log in to it if necessary. So he's all like, you mean every Verizon DSL modem uses the same crappy login? He's like, yes. He's like, on behalf of every hacker on the planet, thank you.
Oh, that's so messed
fantastic. He went and changed it to password 2. I love password 1. I can't tell you how many times it was the default in every line of business boring app thing as a sysadmin. Very good stuff. Also, my new favorite SSID is Xfinity Wi-Fi, but we can talk about that on another show.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Thank you,
we also have.
Telecom.
Yes, thank you. We also have the Hack Shop, which you should definitely check out if you're planning on supporting us, which we thank you so much for supporting us throughout the years.
Couldn't do it without you.
Seriously, no, we couldn't do this without you guys. So every little bit counts. Thank you. And that's over
at
at
like our shareholders, for which
we
are just being silly.
Yeah,
we should probably.
pretty much. We take you guys seriously.
We do. We take that seriously.
HAKshop.com. You would think we had already started drinking, but we haven't.
Yes. So with all of that, I would like to invite you all to follow us, hak5.org/follow, and that's where you can, see all the social media, social stuff. And until next time, without further ado, send your feedback to feedback@hak5.org because we love you. And don't forget that, as always, trust your technolust.
I'm Shannon. That's Darren. Trust your technolust.
It's like an EOF kind of thing. It's like a plus, no carrier. I'm going to return the snubs. I'm returning snubs. Please send shipping details immediately. Fail. Fail. Their camera's like right there, Shannon. The cameras are in front of you. Right? End of line. Carriage return.